Which asset is better to trade, NQ or ES? Well, I'm going to break down a little bit of how I trade both of them. And I don't think you need to necessarily box yourself into just one unless you want the simplicity of only watching one asset. But I want to show you why it could be beneficial to watch both of these and choose which day is best to trade which one. So let's take a look at ES here, and we'll just go over, first of all, my best setup, the one that I teach fully in Futures 2.0, which is on ASFX TV. You can get full access to it if you use code FIRST. We'll take a look at that in a little bit. But I'll definitely preach to you not to chase the first break of opening range, right? So you can see pretty choppy open, but buyers step in. It is a bullish 15 minutes, so we're already looking for longs. Then we get a break of open range high here, right? So let's just say the first idea would be the break above New York, saying, okay, buyers are back in. Well, if you're longing at mid-range, stop loss should be at the bottom of the range. First exit is on that first break of open range high. And now sometimes you'll have poor risk reward that way, but that's where the exit wants to be because they often don't run very far, and sometimes not even as much as this. So when we look for exits, we want to either be taking out that level or look for that to be, okay, nice confirmation for longs, but I don't want to chase the first break. Let me see if we can get a pullback. I'll re-enter later on. What do we pull back to? This New York VWAP here in black, anchored from the 9:30 New York Open. Same VWAP we cut above earlier and wanted to long it at. You're going to want to do it again, but now later on and try to get that second break of high of day VWAP, which we'll put on here. Let's put on a high of day to the high of day. Turn that one purple. You can see you can play the bounce play, but realistically you'll probably play the break play, as in it's breaking this high of day VWAP right here, saying buyers are 100% back in control. Now I would suggest not going with a tight stop loss right at current structure, although it would be safe in this example. You just don't know how often or how much longer maybe wants to hold that New York VWAP. So give it some room just in case. You could still get great risk reward back for a new high a day. And that's exactly what you're going to get. A rip outside the open range high and high day VWAP is that entry signal. And now notice, it's pretty much, if not the exact same price as this first break. This one you get maybe 5 points above, and this one you get a nice clean new high a day. That's why I'd rather take this second break, because it normally runs a little bit further, and if not, moves a little bit quicker as well, so I don't need to sit through that trade as long. But that was the best trade of the day right off our key levels. Now, if you look at the topic of conversation, let's take a look at ES the rest of the day. Where did that bullish trend go? Came back to finish the day, but geez, that did not continue at all. So let's put on another high day view up like we did on the first idea. See if buyers can take control. But we get more clean retests of this New York view up, right? Same thing we got back here. It's the level I want to be buying it off of 10 times out of 10. We retest it again, a third time, a fourth time. So sellers are not stepping in, buyers are still defending these levels. That the first sign would be either you're playing a bounce play off of the bounce of New York, or you're playing the break play, which is just what we looked at earlier, a break of high day VWAP coming in here. Same thing, stop loss below structure, and you can see no even attempt to the high of day, let alone a new high of day to get yourself 1R. And it takes a while to tell yourself that you're wrong, but it's not a bad setup. You see how well it's defending these levels. If we were to rewind it back here even more, you could see, do you think this trade is going lower? The way we're holding these VWAPs, the structure is still being bullish, especially on the bottom, right? Higher lows even still. Buyers are clearly in control. So if you took that long and you lost, definitely shouldn't be mad at yourself. You just take a look at, what if I played that idea on NQ? Clearly still bullish and well outside above its New York VWAP. So same thing, let's put on a high day VWAP back here. That one would win. And let's go to this one because this is the current one we're talking about at like 11 a.m. That's the equivalent of the one we're looking at on ES. Same thing. Break above high a day, stop loss below structure. That one does have the strength to go make new highs. What's the difference? They both look bullish. They're both building higher lows above the New York. And to be honest with you, maybe it's just the tech stocks that day. But if you just happen to trade ES, wanting the longs to continue, you don't get it. You play that same idea on NQ, you do get it. So on this day, this given day, NQ was the better asset to trade. But on other days, you'll see the exact opposite of playing the same long bias on both assets. One of them runs, one of them doesn't. Or one of them runs a lot more cleanly and the other one takes a little bit more time. But at the end of the day, you can't judge the trade off of the outcome. So it's really kind of irrelevant, right? Because you should have been in either one of these trades. Whether it was on ES or NQ, I would just maybe argue it'd just be fortunate if you chose NQ, because you're pretty much saying, yeah, I think they both go higher here because look how bullish they look. One of them did, the other one didn't. So it's almost lucky that you chose NQ this day if you did over ES. But just overall, the VWAP stands strong on both of these assets. It's going to respect the same levels of the open range high, even the initial balance high, and as well as New York. Now, the one thing I would say, and I could do more research on it, of the first break of open range high, I know you will see it here clearly, the first break of open range high, right? I'm saying I don't want to take that. I'll still argue I probably don't on NQ. I more so mean that on ES, but to be safe, I would definitely probably say you probably still don't want to do it on NQ as well, but maybe it does run a little bit more often. But like I said, to be safe, since I haven't watched it too much in terms of that variable, I still just say wait for the second break. But overall, just another key lesson on this, whether it's ES or NQ, no asset should be traded chasing the highs. You could even go back to ES just because it looks a little bit cleaner today heading into these losses. That the worst thing to do will be just chasing the highs, right? If you missed the price, you thought about buying it here on the break above New York, you hesitated, now it looks like it's going without you. I knew I was right, I should have bought it, now let me just buy it instead up here. That's the wrong way of thinking. You want to get it back towards the VWAP, and if you missed it, you missed it. Cry about it later, but you need to wait for that next setup to present. You can't just say, well, I wanted it down here, but now I'll just settle for whatever the market's giving me and I'll just buy it up here. Because why not? It's the best I could do with the hands I'm dealt right now. No, your opportunity was down here at VWAP. If you missed that one, sucks. Let's try to catch the next one. And let's also ask ourselves, why did we hesitate down here? It's a lack of confidence. You didn't think it was going to move higher. What would have told you it was going to move higher without knowing that the next 3 or 4 candles would be bullish, right? Because obviously now, yeah, I want to buy it now because it looks super bullish. But we got to try to get in before it looks super obvious. And now the whole crowd is jumping in up here and probably going to lose. If everyone else is looking at the trade, probably not the best idea to jump into it. Everyone and their mother sees how bullish that is up there. That is probably going to pull back a little bit. Stop a few of them out. Stop the ones that put tight stop losses. And then move higher after all. But you got in at the worst time. So just looking at the markups, doing markups, first of all, going to get you that repetition of recognizing the pattern, first of all, so you'll get confidence in it to know, oh yeah, I've seen plenty of times that we break through New York with the 15-minute in line. I want to be a buyer there. And I've made up plenty of markups off the New York VWAP that I want to be a buyer there. So same thing over here. Ask yourself, if I wasn't in this trade and it loses, will I be more upset than if I take it and it loses, right? So if you do take this setup and it rips for a new high a day, you're going to look back and say, yeah, that was a bad trade. I wish I didn't take that. No, you'd want to be in that setup. You're just saying you don't like it because it lost, which is just not the correct way to think about these trades. And if it loses like it did, you wouldn't be too mad. You'd be more upset if you just missed the winner, right? So think about it in that regard. And as well as doing these markups, you'll also see the abundance of it. So let's say we all missed this one because we were hesitant. We didn't know if we loved the longs yet. All right, whatever. It went and made a winner. We weren't involved. All right. I've done so many of these markups, so many of these videos showing you guys all these markups. I know there's another one around the corner. It may not be in 10, 15 minutes like this one, but an hour, 45 minutes, we'll get something, right? Even if we miss this one, you could even argue you could scalp money off of this New York today, right? Someone could have been real quick with it and scalp that climb up real quick, climb that one up and get out, right? There's plenty of ways to make money that if you miss out on one, don't just now settle for whatever the market's giving you. Wait for the next opportunity that makes the most sense. I don't want to just be jumping in at higher highs. Imagine looking back on your day and be like, yeah, I was long 3 times and I lost money all 3 times. Be like, oh, where'd you buy it? Well, I bought it there and I saw this pin go higher, so I bought it there and then I bought it way up here. Well, it's like, well, you weren't wrong. You just bought it at the highs. I think a lot of people are going to lose money that way unless we're really volatile or really breaking out. So you got to try to catch it after a pullback and buy it before the next bounce comes in. So if you guys made money on any of these days off of the New York, if you found yourself on the wrong side trading ES in the afternoon, hopefully you find a little bit of peace and not too upset with the trades. And if you traded NQ, congratulations to you. But like I said, all of this is broken down, full strategy in Futures 2.0, playing the break play, playing the bounce play above my head here, right? As well as other VWAPs, other key levels, how to manage these trades, where your stop loss, everything that you need is in here. And I am going to be doing an update to it. So like I said, the link's always in my bio, but if you just use code FIRST, you get full access to both of these courses, a third one on the way, and you can tune into the live streams where we take these setups and explain these setups that you're taught every single morning. We got guests coming on all week. So I appreciate you guys tuning in. Make sure you guys tune into the stream. I'll see you guys on the charts tomorrow morning.